It's been a long time since I've seen this.
2, 1.
Just give us a sec.
What is that?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll finish this later. All right, we'll pause it. We're pausing
Enough with Emmanuel.
Enough of Emmanuel in space, the softcore porn from 1994. So we're here to talk about Incredible Hulk Returns from 1988, a better video that we should all know more about. We're going to give us our honest thoughts behind the scenes about the trailer. We might go back to watching Emmanuel in space.
I feel like I've missed a very important part of my young queer training.
Yeah, Lon and I
all of you have let me down.
We just broke into the theme song.
We just both realized that we both know the theme song from this show, which is a thing to discover. After you've known another man for many years, that's when it's time to check if you both
take it to
know
the next level.
The Emmanuel in space.
Just bros being dudes.
Yeah, we'll also show, what else do we do? We do deleted scenes. We're going to do a Q&A, so if you have any Emmanuel or Hulk or Thor related questions, drop them in the chat, and then we will tease you with next week's Honest Trailer.
It's Emmanuel.
It's Emmanuel in space.
Don't tease me.
So, Hulk versus Thor, aka The Incredible Hulk Returns.
How do you not put the name Thor in your
we
TV
fixed that,
Thor
yeah.
movie?
The fact that they
what an
buried
oversight.
the lead.
Yeah, really.
The whole point of this thing, if I understand correctly, because I was not alive to watch the Hulk TV show. It was 78, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about this.
I was pooping myself.
Right.
But yeah. So the Hulk TV show ends. 6 years pass, and I guess, as they still do to this day, like NBC was like, let's snatch up the rights to the Hulk. We're gonna make 3 TV movies, and we're gonna launch a whole new Hulkiverse. And we need more characters than just Bill Bixby. So let's launch the Thor series. That's what this movie was made for, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they cast Eric Kramer.
It clearly feels like a lead-in.
It's
like
a
we're
pilot.
Supposed to be following the ongoing adventures of Thor after this.
Yeah. Eric Kramer is Thor.
He is.
He is. Someone pointed out in the comments he is Little John in Men in Tights, and then it clicked. And he's also in Lodge 49.
He's a regular on the show Lodge 49, which you can now watch in its entirety on Hulu, and is really terrific. A one of those like peak TV shows that just got overlooked in its day. Yep. Wyatt Russell stars in it. Fantastic.
What's his Marvel name? Homelander.
No, U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent. Yeah. He's the evil Captain America.
Yeah. So all things become Marvel, as they are wont to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just take people through. Should we just take people through the story of this, because nobody watching this watched that.
They mess up the Thor. They make the Thor origin and the Thor explanation very confusing. So I feel like we should at least unpack a little of that.
Actually, let's do it as we watch, because I'm sure there'll be moments where we'll stop and explain.
Because
who is Thor and what does he do?
Hashtag not my Thor.
Not my Thor. Nobody. All right, let's play the honest trailer for The Incredible Hulk Returns, a.k.a. Hulk vs. Thor 1988. Roll it. Emmanuel, Queen of the Galaxy.
Sure no one ever asked for this one. But once in a while, you just gotta trust me.
Come lay
now
here
that
with
Thor
me.
kinda sucks again. Revisit the first time Marvel brought their golden boy to life. So let's crack open the honest trailer vault for Hulk vs. Thor. Okay, officially it's The Incredible Hulk Returns, but we both know no one's clicking on that.
Love going back to the vault. Just that sound of a VHS.
Yeah, comforting in a way.
In a world dominated by movies like Superman, Superman 2, Superman 3, and Supergirl, Marvel has surrendered film to DC and retreated to the small screen, selling Spider-Man off to the Japanese. Spider-Man! And using their only past success to try and launch a new hero, Thor. Look, Marvel sucks at adapting their comics, but do you realize what this means? They're setting up a made-for-TV Avengers movie. So rad. I hope they get Kevin Kline for Loki. Or George Carlin. Maybe Cruz.
Pause.
6 years.
I mean, who would have been the Marvel Avengers? I think that's like the material for 1,000 BuzzFeed articles.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people trying to sort of like figure this out.
We might as well throw it out there. Who would the Marvel event made for TV 1988 Marvel Avengers?
Wow, the made for TV Marvel Avengers.
I mean, you could let's say movie or TV, so you don't have to limit yourself to just Peter Falk or whatever. Who is Nick Fury?
Ted Danson as Nick Fury.
Who do you got? I mean, let's do Iron Man, Hulk, and
You need a Captain America.
well, we already have Hulk, I guess. We need Iron Man and Captain America. Let's just do those two.
Captain America. Oh, that's a really.
You know, would have
I
been.
think Iron Man maybe like if you're going kind of older. Can't remember his name right now, but like that old dude that was on The Young and the Restless. He was the guy who was like the major villain and everything kind
Wasn't
of
a soap
revolved
guy.
around-
Yeah, I
No.
know, man. As soon as you said Young and the
I
Restless,
gotta go
I
to
was
my
like,
soap vault.
I
with
give
that
up.
one.
Young and the Restless is Iron
You know
Man.
who I was thinking for Captain America, but now that I think about it, it's really he's a Thunderbolt Ross pick. Is Craig T. Nelson, Coach?
Oh, yeah.
Coach is Craig T.
Yeah,
Nelson.
yeah.
Got to get him in that '80s MCU.
Yeah. I like Danson as Iron Man. Ted Danson
yeah.
would be a
Oh.
fantastic Iron
Oh,
Man.
Danson would nail it.
Yeah.
Like Danson would actually be a really good Iron Man. I
Yeah.
think.
Captain America, it's tough because America in 1988 was so like, it'd be like, who is, not Stallone, but, yeah, Stallone. Stallone is Captain America. I
Yeah.
feel like they could squeeze him into this band.
No, I think it would have been like Hulk Hogan.
it would have been a wrestler.
It would have been like Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
it probably
for
would have
Captain
been.
America.
Honestly, Hulk Hogan
Maybe like
is
Bret
a-
Hart, even though he's Canadian.
Yeah.
You know, he's Canadian. I love America.
All right. Well, you let us know in the comments who your picks would for those two would have been. But let's move on. Let's keep watching this.
Years after he wandered down the road for the last time, Bill Bixby returns. He's still a man on the run, hiding the true identity of David Banner under the alias David Banyan.
My organization kidnapped David Banyan also within the week.
Was David Banner taken? He's a Frankenstein trying to perfect his Hulksterectomy gun. So that only leaves time for him to do two things. Science
I've turned the transponder into a kind of giant Chinese puzzle.
and his coworker.
You smell delicious. It tastes pretty good, too.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
The only film written by Armie Hammer. I don't know if you guys knew. I don't think you guys knew about that.
The way we meet David Banyan in this
David,
film.
he's first of all, I have to note he's David Bruce Banner.
David
they
Bruce
call him by
Banner.
all three names a bunch of times, which is very strange. Pick one.
Yeah, we're introduced to him. I did not know that he was such a playboy in the TV show, or was he? And they
Well,
just
no, it was because it was episodic.
Yeah.
And every week he's getting into different scrapes and helping people. So often he would come to the aid of a woman, and they would develop feelings for one another. That happened in a
I
bunch
guess
of
if
the
you are
episodes.
constantly on the run, like he's the original Dirty John.
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
was. He just had to be like somebody's.
Yeah, he's
sugar-
sliding into
sugar
new,
baby.
Yeah, like, why are you always wearing those scrubs? Don't worry
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
sliding into a new situation, every week.
Pretend I'm going to my science office to do
Yeah.
science. I'm gonna work on my. But I love
He's
his.
basically Reacher, but he can sometimes take time off being Reacher. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to stay big all the time.
Well, he's managed to not get angry for the last 2 years, according
Mm-hmm.
to himself, and he's and I see why. He's chilling in Malibu, just absolutely laying pipe to this lovely lady scientist who
They are just the horniest
so horny, and
scientists.
it
Good
must
for
be good
them.
because she's asking no questions about his past.
She's ignoring a lot. She's ignoring a whole lot of really weird stuff that he's saying.
She's like, you were screaming in your sleep about the monster that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
What's that about? He's like, it's
Don't
nothing,
worry about it,
babe. Coffee? And you're like, okay.
Also, how either she's making a fabulous amount of money from science, or she's independently wealthy, because this home on the beach is like.
She's a widow.
Oh, that's right.
That's her
they
thing.
do it.
She's
Yes,
a widow.
they
and
But
that's
she's
why-
also a high-powered, like the head of some department at Science Tech.
They're both. Yeah, they both have high-paying jobs at
Yeah.
science.
And this was the '80s where like $20 would buy you a beach house. You know?
Yeah, beachfront
Still
property, yes.
expensive.
Yeah.
It was still-
So yeah, and then I love David Bruce Banyan's job. He
Made
even
this very
has
convoluted.
he has a job within a job because he's building an anti-Hulk gun to shoot the Hulk out of himself
Right.
Yes.
with.
It's a transponder,
A
Spencer.
transponder,
Please
excuse me. But it's also
get the science right.
the way he's pitching. He can't say that to his corporate 80s
Yeah.
bosses. What he's saying is, and what I believe to be true is, it's also an infinite energy
Yes.
device. He's
Yeah,
also
it
created
harnesses the power of gamma
radiation
so that
to
you
just
can-
power the world. It's like,
Yeah.
just kidding. I'm not trying to help
It's
anybody
both-
else.
It's
I'm
a lot
just
like
trying
it's
to-
a lot like Doc Ock's Spider-Man 2. It's like like the power. It's like creating its own sun to tap as an energy source.
Yeah.
With gamma radiation. He just thinks the side effect is if he blasts himself with it, it'll de-Hulkify.
So it's a happy side effect. He's not, or is he conning the world into
No,
thinking
I
he's
actually
doing good?
the implication I thought, and I only watched this twice, so please feel free to go back and review it again. But I believe the implication was that he didn't even start out, like he just was using his gamma knowledge to try to do some good, and then he was like, oh, interesting. I bet a happy side effect.
If I lay down in front of this gun.
I bet this might also de-Hulkify me.
Might de-Hulkify. Okay, got it. All right, good guy. Okay, keep
Not
playing.
a guy who's big into planning in terms of his sciences. We're told from the very beginning that his original plan of blasting himself with gamma radiation was just designed to like untap the human potential within us all. It's like, was this a peer-reviewed study, sir? That doesn't sound very.
This is when science was science.
That doesn't sound very official. What university signed off on this?
All right, let's keep going.
Look out. No fabric is safe from the Hulk. Lou Ferrigno returns with an even scarier bowl cut. And when this monster bodybuilder finally comes out to play, he's showing off his signature move, grunt flexing.
Great lats.
Ah, Lou, you need to work your tries harder. Not looking good.
Grunt flexing.
This is just straight Blanca.
Yeah.
Hulk was first.
Who directed this? Lou Ferrigno's dad?
What symmetry you got, Lou? Like something Michelangelo carved.
Pause.
Since the 70s.
For those of you that don't know, that's Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
Probably one of the better documentaries, or
So
more
great.
entertaining documentaries ever made.
So great.
Young Arnold Schwarzenegger training for his fourth Mr. Olympia, I think it is, or
Mr.
one of those
Universe.
Mr. Universe. Yeah. And it follows him and Lou Ferrigno and his dad as they prepare for that contest. Really, really crucial viewing.
And a different side of Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a lot of talk afterwards about like how scripted, how much were they playing for the cameras in Pumping Iron versus how much of it is real. But Schwarzenegger is sort of purposely playing like a bully.
Yes,
like he's,
very much.
Yeah, like he's mean to Ferrigno, and it's fascinating how his public persona has totally changed from that.
He's become a nicer guy. I mean, he launched as a villain, or anti-hero at least, Conan and Terminator 1 and stuff like that.
That transformation, how in the 90s he became like cuddly family man, everybody
Funny,
loves Arnold, is like, it's really fascinating when you go back and watch Pumping Iron, which is really, really hard. He's got a harsh personality.
He's a fascinating a-hole in that movie.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Oh,
It's really
so good. And then, yes, the whatever's going on between Lou Ferrigno and his dad is so great in that whole thing. You look like a
just being
Michelangelo.
Very
supportive.
Very
Gotta butter up your
a lot
big
of
son.
positive support.
I got a buff.
The original, like, I love my large son. Yeah.
Gotta oil up my big boy before
The original guy who
before
loves
his flex off.
loved his large son. Yeah.
All right, keep going.
These fans have wondered if a live-action Thor movie could work. Now, Eric Kramer has the answer. No. Meet the Viking god with a hammer you know from the comics. But instead of Norse magic, he's got nose magic.
Get from Odin this nose of mine. Always find my man.
Super cab-hailing powers.
Hey, cab!
And an infectious laugh, in that I think he has some kind of disease where he can't stop laughing.
I think of the Joker. That's the Joker.
Yeah,
But
so
in this
pause. The character of Thor. It's a little different. He's still he's been banished, I think, for the sin of arrogance.
Well, he's not. They can't seem to decide.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, they can't seem to decide what his nature is. Because at first, Donald Blake, a normal human, stumbles into this cave.
Is he a normal human though, or he's been called to dig up Norse artifacts by some type of?
And he's been like obsessed with like Viking stuff his whole life.
Yeah,
he's just like a regular ass doctor.
He's a quirky Twitch machine who finds himself pulled somehow spiritually to this cave where he finds the dead body, the grave of Thor. But when he first reads the inscription on the grave, it's like Thor was a human king. And then and now he's like a ghost or a disembodied spirit. But then later Thor self refers to himself as the son of Odin.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure
Yeah.
what he is.
Well, and he like lives in the hammer.
He lives in the hammer like a genie.
He lives in the hammer like
He
a
lives
genie.
in the hammer like a genie.
And he described. Yeah, go ahead.
You have to hold up the hammer and yell Odin, and that's how you call Thor.
Yeah, that's the only way to get Thor like out of the hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
And he basically describes it as like essentially, I guess, what's that thing where you like lie in like one of those baths and you can't?
Oh,
like,
it
like
seems
a
like a
perception,
sensory
yeah.
sensory deprivation
Deprivation.
chamber.
Yeah, he's like in stasis.
It's darker
when
than
he's
he
not.
describes it like sleep paralysis. Like you're just in this like cold, dead darkness, and like
no form, no.
any
clue.
kind of like heroic or even nice person would not banish him to the land of wind and ghosts. He would probably like let him chill in his apartment while he went out.
Sometimes he asks, he's like, "I'm bored here, Blake. Send me back to the nightmare void."
Yeah. So yeah, he lives in the forbidden shake weight that Donald Blake has.
Yeah, the shake weight of mystery.
Return to Odin.
Yeah.
It just I don't understand how. I mean, I guess I get how that would make for a good TV series. As Donald Blake gets into a scrape, gets into a jam,
Summons Thor
summons
for help.
Thor, and then
But Thor makes things complicated. Like, no, this guy again. Oh boy.
Right, because like in the comics at that time, that it was like Donald Blake was Thor. Like Thor was like trapped
Right.
inside of him, and
Sure.
like, the Mjolnir was like Donald Blake's cane, and like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so I guess in this one they were like, but what if it was a buddy comedy?
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And he had to like manage Thor, who's like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I think Hemsworth is playing this a little bit in the first Thor, where
Very
it's like
much
when he
the
has the
Thor.
drink and he like slams down,
Another.
like, another. Like this is that Thor,
Oh,
but
this
like
Thor
times 100.
always wakes up hangry and thirsty.
Yeah,
Every
like-
time he comes out of the hammer, he's like, "I need food."
Yeah, this is pure like what if a Viking woke up and was just like, "You there, get me mead."
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. And they do the throwing back his head laughing bit. So they hit that so hard.
Yeah.
Like a few times and we'd get it. This is like constant.
All right,
We get it. He loves life.
keep going.
First, even the mighty Thor
quite
bows
weird.
before Donald Blake.
My master waits in his metal chariot.
Instead of being Thor's alter ego like the comics, Donald is this dweeb who everyone hates
Oh, I like you, Blake, but only when you're asleep. So when are you leaving?
and who keeps Thor stuffed inside his hammer like a dog being crate trained.
Do I have your permission to leave?
Until one unforgettable honky-tonkin' hooty-tootin' night on the town makes them best buddies.
Scene is so long.
Oh my god, I got really fixated on this song.
The big guy song.
It's like a 4-minute original
There should
song.
really be more songs about big guys being big. You really have to drive home how big the guys
Pause.
are.
But you think it's was it diegetic, like where it's you think that song
I think
is actually
that song is playing
in that bar?
I think that bar, they've got a button under the bar when a really big guy
It's
shows
like
up.
a warning.
Big guys here.
Play the big guy song, big
Wah,
guy's here.
wah, wah,
It's
wah.
a 4-minute
Defcon
song.
big.
Every lyric in the song is just about the presence of a large guy.
Big guys.
Look at this big guy.
He's
He's
all
in the
big.
building now and he's big. And it's a biker bar. There must be big guys in there
all the
constantly.
time. Yeah, it must be on loop. Yeah, and this is to set up, I guess the promise of how fun the Thor TV show would be, where Donald
Right.
Blake's like, I'm a wiener, I can't go to a bar.
full
There's
Anthony Michael
big
Hall.
guys there, and then Thor goes, ha, come with me.
Super like 80s, like jock versus dweeb stuff.
Yeah.
That's really where we're going. with this.
And and he's so dweeby, like an 80s babe like slides up next to Donald Blake and is like, I'm a babe, and he's like, oh, babe, I need a big guy. So,
It's
Well,
like,
luckily
yeah.
there's one right there.
It's like, no, didn't you hear the song? There's one right over there.
yeah. So just a lot of fun. A 4-minute long fun time.
I feel like
I
if-
hope is in Thor 4.
If I walked into a bar and immediately they would start playing a song about like, look at this big fat piece of crap. I'm like, that's not necessary.
Fat piece of crap.
Why?
You're a fat piece of
Yeah.
crap.
Did this? Singling me out? It's because I'm in this bar? It seems weird. It seems rude.
You should leave this bar.
Yeah.
People just play
Get back
Lizzo
in your hammer.
every time I go in the bar. Just
You are bumming me out.
No one wants your nerd stuff here. This bar's just for jocks. All right. This is why I need a Viking.
I can't believe. I wish they had cut over and there was like a gated fence and a band playing behind it, like in Roadhouse.
Like in Roadhouse,
That's the one
yeah.
thing. That's the one
The
thing
chicken
that's
wire
missing.
fence.
Every bar needs.
The one thing that's missing is
Yeah.
just like a full-on bar band.
And they're all black.
Do you
for some
remember
reason.
McGee from the Hulk show? The
Not
reporter
Roadhouse.
hot on Banner's trail? No? Well, fine. He was a relic of the 70s anyways. And in case you weren't aware, this is the 80s.
This is the 80s. I don't know what a good cause is anymore.
That means it's time for high-powered
Pause.
executives.
There's something that's so funny to me about saying that in 1988. Like maybe if you said that in 82 when the 80s was like fresh and new and no one quite knew what it was about at that point. But yeah, I think me being like, it's the 2000s, people, wake up.
Yeah, I feel like that
It's
as a
little late.
trope, 80s and 90s were really big on that. And then it's sort of, you don't hear it as much. Like, it's the 10s, man.
That's
like,
why, because we don't have a good word
Yeah.
for it.
But yeah, like
it's
every-
the naughty oddies, Lon.
But, yeah, but every 90s movie has that, like, this is the 90s, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
We don't do that sort of thing.
We live in a year. Yeah.
We live in a year. Yeah, they're trying to figure it out still.
Yeah.
But yes, this is great. They did have that, kind of gumshoe reporter tracking David
Right.
Banyan down across.
that was the-
so well hidden, changing
Yeah,
his name.
that was the ticking
and
clock.
keeping the same job.
On the TV show. It was
Yeah.
like he had to keep moving because this reporter, McGee, was, like, hot on his trail.
Yeah.
You know,
McGee's got a very forgiving editor that just keeps paying his expenses while he just
Yeah.
travels from town to town, not
ever
writing
getting
a
the story. Yeah.
Well, didn't he? I'm trying to remember. At one point in this movie, isn't he like talking to the hotel or something and being like, "I don't know why that didn't go through" or something?
Yeah, no, he's definitely like begging.
He gets like caught off.
Yeah.
Like cut off. Yeah.
So, a holdover from everyone's favorite, the TV show. I guess 6 years later, they just felt like they
Yeah.
had to.
They had to bring him in.
Yeah, people are gonna wonder where's McGee.
What of McGee? Where is he in all this?
So
you know, the fans
we spend a lot of
demanded.
time on that, and I just had the feeling that I was right. This must be from the show, because
Yeah.
otherwise, why are we following
Why
this
is
old
He
man?
doesn't. It doesn't really pay off. It's just like, remember, here's another guy we can bring back
Yeah.
from the classic show.
All right, let's keep going.
Contracts, deals, negotiations, squash, publicity stunts, corporate espionage, compact disc players. And because the PC90s are right around the corner,
Who would you prefer to be on our side? Thor or a bunch of trigger-happy deputies?
even Marvel is starting to realize it's time to add some diversity to their casts.
You stupid Cajun idiot! Hey, you're just as Cajun as me, man.
Pause.
But you're not here for
I died. That was my favorite part of the film, with like the inexplicable occasion accusation.
There's that guy, that actor, Jack Napier, great actor, great character actor. He's got a line later where he actually does the Paul Prudhomme, I guarantee.
I guarantee. Yeah. And this is halfway
the-
through the movie. They just become so Cajun out
The
of nowhere.
funniest thing, he's just like, he gonna come back and get his hope. I guarantee. It's like, what? Oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, because we're trying to figure out like who the villain is,
Yeah.
because obviously it's a team up movie, so first they have to fight each other, and
But
then
there's
the villain,
multiple corporate executives, and
Yes.
it's like which one's
It's a very
evil one.
needlessly confusing thing
Yeah.
about what the corporate espionage
Well,
even is.
Because what happens is that the younger brother doesn't feel like a man. This is a line in the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like a man, so he hires Cajuns to go kidnap Dr. Banyan and his D-Hulk Ray for reasons,
yeah.
to
We
prove
should-
that he is a man.
We should note, you said they were living in Malibu. Obviously, this was all filmed in LA. It is supposed to be New Orleans. Like, we did
Are
not.
you serious?
They do set that up.
No. Friggin' way.
No way.
They do set that up. It's not supposed to be California. It very obviously was all filmed in Southern California.
there's
but they
no
are
way.
saying it's Louisiana.
There's no
and that's
way.
why there are Cajuns. I promise you this is true.
I need to watch this again.
Yeah,
There's
they
no.
do mention that the lab is in New Orleans in one scene.
No.
I noticed it because I was like, that's weird that they would say it's New Orleans when it's so obviously not Louisiana. And then later Cajuns show up. I'm like, well, that's why.
I guess
they-
I'm thrown off because we see multiple locations that we are around every day.
We all, as LA residents, recognize that
recognize
this is
these
Los
things.
Angeles, but in the film, I believe it is supposed to be the city of New Orleans.
You're just as Cajun as me.
We're here in the French Quarter right now. I can't believe you would say that to me on Bourbon Street of all places.
Slowly drops the slow motion beignet drop.
I am gonna have another Sazerac, damn it!
Spits out his chicory coffee.
Why weren't they feeding him hurricanes instead of giving him like bad beer?
There's nothing about
Wasted
that movie
opportunity.
that screams
I
New Orleans.
believe
except
that. I believe that is in my
Yeah.
notes. They're like, is this in New Orleans?
Wow, amazing. All right, this changes
I
everything.
guarantee.
Keep going.
You're here for action, and this movie will get to that when it's good and ready.
So much standing around.
The show-stopping set pieces, like Thor and Hulk slowly wrestling around a sparkle factory.
Yeah, the big fight.
I guess that's how computers work.
Yeah.
What the people wanted to see. Gingerly jogging away from sparks.
Thor and Banner taking down a helicopter that's clearly just not flying half the time.
Yeah, this is so
and
good.
Marvel's brand new cutting-edge special effect. Slow motion.
Yeah.
I think a full third of this is in this
Zack Snyder, take notes.
real choppy slow motion.
Really poorly done.
Like,
That's my favorite.
yeah.
Wow, that looks truly amazing. It's too bad everything else moves just as slow.
He's waking up.
Still waking up. You're awake. You're awake.
Snipe Valley, you
Boss. I love that. I should have put that in. It doesn't cut away right there. It slowly fades into an image of the waves.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a slow dissolve into the beach.
And while he's waiting to like maybe de-Hulk or kill himself, like you're watching it happen in real time before Donald Blake is like, "Hey, I remember you from school. You were a guy.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about Norse stuff."
Yeah, I've come to see you for no explicable reason.
Yeah, the pacing though, I mean, that's a feature of just older things in general. They didn't have as many quick cuts and stuff like that, but I feel like there were some particularly egregious moments in this where they just forgot. They were waiting for somebody to yell cut and they just never did.
It's a 90-minute movie that could have easily been an hour.
Well, I mean, it was TV, so it was
Yeah.
like they had a 2-hour slot, 30
Yeah.
minutes of commercials. You
Yeah.
got to fill the rest of that time, whether the script gets it done or not.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like there was that. There are a few scenes that feel like purposefully drawn out because they just needed a little filler to
Yeah.
get to this next commercial break.
There's not enough good Cajun stuff.
Not enough.
Yeah, need more
And then the
Cajun stuff.
fighting is not great. I mean,
Wow.
Ferrigno looks the part, but you know, he's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's there to
He's a
flex.
bodybuilder.
And Eric Kramer, I don't think is fighting. I think they probably sub him out for somebody else. And it's just really two guys just slowly tossing each other.
Yeah, it's that very 80s style of action, like TV action choreography where it's like stuff doesn't really happen to the actors, it happens like around them.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like their sets will spark or like
Guys
they-
will flip. when
Right,
they-
like on the A-Team,
yeah.
you'll always recall like they would shoot, but they would shoot like the boxes above the bad guys that then fall on the bad guys,
Yeah.
and like it's a lot of that stuff. So you avoid the actors having to do a lot.
There's
of
something funny
stunts.
to me though about because they fight each other, but otherwise they're going up against goons. You know, and it's funny to me to see Thor and the Hulk go up
Yeah.
against
Struggle,
Cajun street
struggle
toughs.
against like two guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you need that much like firepower. That's like
There's one scene that I noted. I don't know if we pulled it in the trailer, where it's literally just Hulk on the ground, kind of just like rolling around, like trying to get his bearings, and it's like this is just undignified for him. He's a Thanos level
Yeah.
fighter. Like he can't like he's a turtle on his back or something.
All right, let's keep playing.
someone flip over Thor.
The first of 3
Someone flip over
made-for-TV
the
Hulk
whole
films that could be the launch of an interconnected Marvel universe. And I, for one, am on board, because who knows what DC is doing with that new Batman movie. Can you believe they gave it to the guy who made Pee-wee's Big Adventure? And it stars Mr. Mom, 1-800,
Next
not
year,
my Batman.
89.
Starring, Where's the Beef? Oh, there it is. I Dream of Weenie. Avenge of This Nerd. A Woman Scientist. J. Jonah Jameson. And Thor's Drinking Problem.
I'm thirsty. Is there nothing to drink in this alchemist's den? I want a drink. Mead. Or what you call beer will do. I need to drink.
Being a dead Norse.
We should probably save that one for Thor 4.
Yeah.
You know, Banner's
Oh, wow.
girlfriend Maggie has a superpower in this too. Ignoring red flags.
And who gives
Naked with the dog.
Yeah.
That's
Look.
Yeah.
If I run into my boyfriend naked outside my house, hanging out with my dog late at night, I'm gonna have some questions.
But not even like, okay, let me explain. Like you can't, like, nonverbal. Like that's where it's a concern.
Oh, he knows how to party. Get over it.
The dog stole all my clothes. At least, like, now we can have a conversation.
Thank you, people, for watching. We're going to get to your questions right after this. But before we do, click subscribe, click like, give that bell a ring-a-ling-a-ding-ding, and you will never miss a thing, including our full scene-by-scene breakdown of Emmanuel in space. Coming soon.
That's going to be the first thing we watch on Twitch.
We got to get to the song part. Here we go.
Yeah. Elaine Saritsky. What else was he known for?
Just the first line. Just give it time.
Oh, A World of Desire. We forgot the subtitle.
I can't. How have I never seen this?
Did you not have Cinemax?
See, we nailed it.
At a friend's house.
Did I have it in my room? I had it scrambled.
Sano. I like how it's Emmanuel's face, but already they're just clearly in a human bedroom.
Well, didn't she have to go, like...
Why is she on a horse? Why is she at medieval times?
No, she starts out on Earth. I don't remember how
I thought she was doing...
Yeah,
the aliens kidnap Emmanuel, and I think
they
that they use her
human...
memories to discover human sexuality.
Yeah, they're studying her to learn about human sexuality.
Like, could you teach us to love?
Yeah. So then they just go into her spank bank?
Yeah. Exactly. It's the multiverse of Spank Bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, your questions are...
Are they about Emmanuel in space? They should.
Let's see.
I get over that Thor from the special movie becomes the dad in Good Luck Charlie.
Yeah, Jason Asghari notes that the Thor, Eric Kramer, becomes the dad in Good Luck Charlie. He's working to this day.
Eric Kramer works a lot. You would recognize him if you saw a picture of him
now.
today. Yeah, he doesn't.
He looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, the Buzz does a lot.
But he plays a lot of, like, big guys in bars when the big guy song comes on.
Panther brings us up. Lou Ferrigno's Hulk met Thor and Daredevil. Which other Marvel character would you like to see him match or pair up with? I do want to note, John Bailey was telling me about this, how great the trial of the Incredible Hulk is, which was the one they made after this, where he's on trial, I imagine. But his representation is Matt Murdock.
Right.
Oh.
So there's a cool legal thriller where Matt Murdock is representing the Hulk in court in 1989 or something like that.
I feel like Hank Pym or Scott Lang, like an Ant-Man would work in this world.
I would love to see that
both
effect.
Personality-wise, and like the 80s version of, like, just there's one guy who can shrink down real small, and you do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. I dig that.
He's tiny. Yeah.
You just borrow like a big chair from one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Like when
I mean, we were talking about this, I don't know if it was last week or this week, but my God, do I want the universe where they made Venom, like a procedural, like Eddie Brock's Venom in 1988, where he was doing, like, he was a gumshoe reporter who also was an alien.
Who was Venom.
Venom at the same time, but just in this era. And I want that to cross over with the Hulk, I think.
That would have been really fun, because then he could have been trying to, like, discover the key to the Hulk, and he's like, I also have a dude.
Yeah, instead of McGee, you have Eddie Brock.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that could be really good.
Yeah. So that's my matchup for sure. So Chuck Farley asked the question that everybody's been asking themselves for decades: is I never got how the Hulk's pants worked in that show, because everything else just flies off.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how do they not get shredded?
Because you got to figure, like, his donk grows just as much as the rest of them.
Like a tree trunk,
Yeah.
right?
You'd have to figure.
Yeah.
You'd at least get the top button is like that's flying off and hitting somebody.
If he's growing to such an extent that the shirt, like, busts apart, like combusts from the pressure, at least the pants would have to expand.
They're
somewhat.
ripped. They're certainly ripped. But
he's just getting, like, very powerful elastic bands over his jeans.
I don't understand. Like, it's not that crazy to have him in his underwear. Like, that's not freaky. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just watch Emmanuel too much. But I think the Hulk's pants could fall off, and we'd all be fine. All right. Evan J. Pretzer asks, when will we get on-serial commentaries after dark, which reviews the Emmanuel films?
Not the film. I've really never seen any of the Emmanuel films. I've only seen this take on Emmanuel in space. It's gonna be like one really sleazy guy from the 90s, like, hey, they're playing my song. That belongs to me.
Yeah.
That's Red Shoe Entertainment's property.
Now, see,
The Red Shoe Diaries was
that I
another
remember.
erotic
I
show
just
from the
didn't
same
see
era.
name.
Follow-up question, sort of, from James Bunt. My mother watched all the Hulk show in hopes that his pants would finally split in his transformation. When did you realize your parents didn't understand how TV was made? I don't know. She may have understood a little more than you, James. She might have been waiting for Hulk to hang dong.
Yeah.
So that I won't finish that sentence.
Taika
yes.
Waititi keeps promising it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So one day soon.
Bruins fan 1144 notes this movie needed a gambit for it to prove
It's
it's
in
in
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. Yes, you
I was
need a
really missing a
card-playing
guy.
Cajun.
Not enough Cherie.
Yeah,
for
not
Witches.
enough people being called Cherie
Oh,
for
shit.
my please.
Yeah.
Yeah, Van Damme in this as Gambit would have been
Ugh,
just like, mwah,
so good.
cherry on top.
So good. I guess we'll close with this. Haley Hernser asks or says, "It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Haley.
Happy birthday.
Hope you have a great one." And asking, "Are you excited for Nope?" Yep.
I'm very
Yep.
excited. I'm very excited for Nope.
Yeah, why
I
not?
kind of wish I hadn't seen the final trailer.
I didn't. I skipped it.
I did.
They've now given one more thing that I wanted to know away,
That's too
and
bad.
I'm bummed out that I know it, but I'm still very excited.
Well, that dovetails nicely into your clue for next week, which is something that I'm going to finish watching today. Oh, whoops. All right.
And who keeps Thor stuffed inside his hammer like a genie in a bottle, except instead of granting you wishes, you'll just wish he'd stop taking all the ladies and drinking all of your beer. Starring The Gods Must Be Lazy, Snow Blake, Donald Trump, L.A. Shaw, Woodward and Burnout, Thorgen Story. Wow, slow-mo even works for racquetball scenes. Is there anything that this brand new technology can't do?
What's the difference between squash and racquetball?
Is
Does
there a
anybody know?
difference?
Are we not 80s enough?
We're not 80s
No.
enough.
Okay.
I kind of thought those were two words for the same thing.
Okay.
I will admit that to you right now. That
There are no wasps on this panel.
That-
Shucks.
Sorry.
you don't know how to play squash.
Oh, you mean racquetball?
That's unheard of at the club.
The club. Next week, we'll be back for something that, again, I wish hadn't been spoiled because it turns out there's a big thing in it, and nobody waited for everyone else to finish before talking about the big thing. So that's next week's clue for your honest trailer. People are already asking for it. You can probably guess what it is.
Listen, you know what it's gonna be.
You know, it's what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's the thing you think that
You're
they're
not
do.
gonna miss it. Oh, boy. We have fun here, don't we? All right, I'm gonna play our outro music, and we will see you next week.